What's the most shocking secret someone has revealed to you? Before we start with the first story, please hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Number 10. I had an old girlfriend who was coming to Florida and wanted to hang out with me and my wife. She brought her mom, who I knew pretty well. A great dinner, drinks, and fun stories. Then when my ex went to the bathroom, the mom told me she, the ex, was dying of cancer. I had no idea. It was sad, but yet felt so good she wanted to hang out. She died within a year. We were probably 35 years old at the time. Number 9. That he watched his son die of an overdose and didn't do anything to help. He told me that his son had battled addictions for many years, and that he had called an ambulance in the past when his son had overdosed, but that he thought it was better this time to just let him go since he made his choice. That's some Walter White right there.
Say my name.
Number 8. A friend in the year below me at school mentioned that he's not allowed to do sexual education for religious reasons. Fine, fair enough. My family, he added, taught me everything I need to know already. The look on his face told me I shouldn't respond yet. With practicals. His parents were abusing him together and dressing it up as sex ed. He lost his virginity at 11 to his dad. I pointed out that that was insane and a serious crime. He agreed to go to the police about it. 2 brutal years later they were locked up. He spent the rest of his childhood in foster care, and by all accounts grew into a wonderful young man. Number 7. Several months after my mom passed, my aunt decided to tell me that my mom had given a baby up for adoption when she was 17. Somehow he had contacted my aunt several years ago, wanting to meet his birth mother, but my aunt decided to play gatekeeper, telling him my mom was ill. She had dementia but was still functioning several years ago, and she didn't think it was a good idea. Why did she even tell me? It's too late. I can't ever get answers to my questions. I tried a DNA website hoping to find him, but no matches came up. In my mom's last few months, she kept asking where the baby was and calling a name I did not know. At least it makes sense now, but I feel bad that I kept telling her there's no baby and we don't know anybody by that name. Number 6. My grandfather was telling me about his father. My great-grandfather was abusive and threw his wife around till she was incapacitated and dragged her out onto the lawn in the middle of a blizzard and locked the door. The 6 children were too young or didn't dare help her or say anything or they'd be next. She ended up dying in the walkway during the storm, so he spun a story of her falling and must have locked herself out. The same dude also accidentally burned their first house down because he was tossing lit matches at the family cat for fun. The cat caught fire and burned the whole house down. Number 5. An old friend burned her house down, with her husband and 3 kids inside. Got her family out just in time. She was on a new antidepressant and had a mental breakdown in the middle of the night. She faced 83 years in prison after the arson investigation and was only sentenced to 6 months, no prior record. Her husband killed himself by arson while she was in jail. The detectives still investigated her cellmates, and her family. Her kids were with their grandparents when he killed himself. She's been out for a decade now and is living a normal life. Number 4. After our first sex ed lesson at school, UK, so we were around 10 years old, year 6, a girl in my class told us she'd had sex. We were all laughing and telling her she was silly, and that wasn't true. She said that it was true and that it was with her uncle. We were all baffled and convinced that couldn't happen, so we laughed it off, cringed thinking about it. Jesus Christ. One of my friends told her family about the strange thing this girl had told us, and her mother immediately clocked it for what it was. It got reported to school. Turns out the whole thing was true. She just hadn't known the name for what was happening to her before that lesson. I'm so glad that one girl thought to tell someone. We were kids, so I guess it makes sense that we didn't understand how that could be true, but still feel awful that we reacted that way. He got prosecuted. The girl got moved away from her extended family. We all got called in to be spoken to about what we'd been told, checked we were all right, etc., and then made to understand that it wasn't something we should gossip about, and that the girl would need friends. School handled it really well overall. Number 3. Don't know if it's the most shocking secret, but the most recent secret that's been let slip anyway. My 25F, Nan, 73F, accidentally told me about how my mom, 52F, disappeared for 2 weeks a few months after I was born. She just up and left one day, didn't tell anyone where she was, just that she wasn't coming back. She of course came back and apologized to my dad, 52M. They divorced 7 years later, but shock there. Not angry that she left, angry she came back. The horrible, disgusting thing to think, I know, but she was never mentally stable enough to have children, and she made the conscious choice to have two. It was selfish. I love her, but I was her parent more than she was mine. Edit. I just didn't know that this was when she started to spiral out. I thought it was either when my brother was born or when the divorce happened, but it just unlocked a whole load of toddler-crazy memories. So I don't know, just hurt that almost everyone let it go on my entire life, not just a part of it. So before people also bring my dad into this, after the divorce, he tried to get custody of me and my brother. Then tried again after she was committed for the second time, but he had no money, so that's how that went. My dad told me that she wouldn't let us go because she couldn't bear to be away from us, and that he understood that just would always hate her for it. It also sucks realizing how different your life could have been if the woman that loves you more than life wasn't so selfish. My brother knows nothing about the custody thing. He already has no relationship with my mother. My family is super f***ed up. Number 2. That a majority of people from my dad's side of the family borrowed money from my great-grandmother and never paid her back. I'm talking like $10,000 to $20,000 each person. My uncle, my aunt, my grandmother, my great-uncle, my great-aunt. Apparently, when she died, they all fought over the remaining stuff in her house and what money was left over. My dad never asked for money, never asked for anything, and after she died, all we got was her van. That actually leads to another secret. That van was then handed down to me, as I had just gotten my license as a teen. It was a good van. Heated seats, good speakers, TV in the back. Seats went all the way down. Hot boxed that van so many times and got lucky in there as well. I loved the van. Then I learned that my great-grandmother didn't actually die in her living room like I had been told. She died in the driver's seat of that van. Just died while putting it in park one day. I feel very weird when I think about everything I did in that van now. Number 1. I found out my mother and father were not divorced. He never existed. She had a one-night stand, found out she was pregnant, bought a wedding ring, changed her name, and told the family that she had gotten married. She made up excuses every time she went to my grandparents' house as to why her husband couldn't also be there to meet them. On the third visit, my grandfather told her to never wear that ring in his house again, and when is the baby due? I'm 53. And that's all the 10 best stories. If you like more of this, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your similar experience in the comment below. See you in the next video.